Hello everyone. Today we're going to do a video on the history of Ezekiel bread. It's actually found in the Bible under Ezekiel chapter 4 verse 9, and we'll go through the history of Ezekiel bread and then a recipe, a step-by-step recipe on how to make Ezekiel bread for yourself. And we want to thank you for watching. So we'll start with the history of Ezekiel bread in the video. Ezekiel bread is a type of bread that is based on a biblical recipe found in the book of Ezekiel, specifically Ezekiel chapter 4 verse 9. The recipe describes a bread made with specific grains and legumes. And the passage reads, "Also take for yourself wheat, barley, beans, and lentils, millet and spelt. Put them into one vessel and make bread of them for yourself." Ezekiel bread typically includes a combination of sprouted grains and legumes. The sprouting process involves soaking the grains and legumes in water until they germinate, and then they are ground into a dough to make bread. The modern version of Ezekiel bread was popularized by the company Food for Life. There, Ezekiel chapter 4 verse 9, sprouted whole grain bread follows the biblical recipe closely, incorporating organic sprouted wheat, barley, lentils, soybeans, spelt, and millet. Here is the recipe for homemade Ezekiel bread. Making Ezekiel bread at home involves sprouting grains and legumes, a process that requires some time and patience. Here's a basic recipe. Ingredients: 2.5 cups organic whole wheat berries, 1.5 cups organic spelt berries, half a cup of organic barley, 1/4 cup organic millet, 1/4 cup organic lentils, 2 tablespoons great northern beans, 2 tablespoons red kidney beans, 2 tablespoons pinto beans, 1.5 cups of warm water, 2 tablespoons honey or agave nectar, 4.5 teaspoons active dry yeast, 4 tablespoons of olive oil, 1 teaspoon of salt. Okay, now for the instructions. First, the sprouting process. Rinse all grains and legumes thoroughly and soak them in water for about 8 hours. Then you'll want to drain and rinse them again, and then let them sprout for about 2 to 3 days, rinsing every 8 to 12 hours. This is the sprouting process. And now for the bread dough. Once sprouted, grind the grains and legumes in a food processor until a dough-like consistency is achieved. Next, activate the yeast. Next, dissolve the honey or the agave nectar in warm water, then add the yeast. Let it sit until it's frothy. Next step is the mixing. In a large bowl, combine the sprouted green legume mixture, the yeast mixture, the olive oil, and the salt. Okay, and you want to make sure you mix it thoroughly. The next step would be the rising of the bread. Form the dough into a loaf and place it into a greased loaf pan. Allow it to rise in a warm place for about 1 to 2 hours or until doubled in size. The next step is baking. Next, preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Bake the bread for 30 to 40 minutes or until the top is golden brown and the bread sounds hollow when tapped. The next step is the cooling process of the bread. Next, you want to allow the bread to cool before slicing it. You also want to keep in mind that making Ezekiel bread at home requires commitment due to the sprouting process. You can adjust the recipe based on your personal preferences. Okay, and I just want to thank everybody so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe this video. It really helps the channel to grow. God bless everybody, and thank you. Have a wonderful, blessed day.